Hello, everyone. How's it going today? Winter here, founder, creator, nerd. Before anything else, online marketer. I'm a high school dropout turned Intel network engineer. I started online marketing back in 2008. Someone taught me list building. With list building, I started info products. I generated about 35 million in the low ticket space from 7 to 15, right? So I'm only sharing that I've been online for a long time. 2015, I went and did my first webinar. It was a high ticket webinar. I fell in love after doing low ticket for so many years. I went to then try to automate it. Mind you, this is 2015. I tried to automate with EverWebinar, right? That's the steadfast even to today. And I saw my conversions go in half. So back in 2016, I was like, okay, let me figure out how to maintain the same conversion vehicle that I'm using with my GoToWebinar, right? I was doing it live with GoToWebinar, conversions rocked, tried to take it to EverWebinar, conversions, blah, blah. So the platform was born to automate GoToWebinar. I just want to throw that out there, right? Today, a big part is USP is Zoom, of course, because Zoom ate GoToWebinar's lunch clear back a little bit before the pandemic even. And then another big part of the USP is show rates today are difficult, right? They're not like when I started in like webinars nearly 10 years ago. And a lot of platforms still really focus on just the single channel experience, right? Or maybe EverWebinar as example, right? I automated GoToWebinar, then I wanted to add on text messaging because EverWebinar, I could send one text 10 minutes before. Well, I want to send picture message 10 minutes into it. That's a FOMO invoker, right? That really gets people on. I want to provide their join link there, so on. All right, so that's my little share to. Now I'm going to dive right in. Let me see here. That should be sharing. Look below me. The main idea about AEvent is like, let's maintain the conversion vehicle, maybe that you're using Zoom with Live or you're using with like Live with Zoom, right? Let's not use a just-in-time event. Let's use it, make it appear as an event, even if it's running every day or twice a day. And then let's use Omni-Channel to increase attendance. So what we're seeing on the right-hand side here, not just SMS and MMS or email, but push notification, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, right? We just recently added a Gmail integration for when you want to segment and send out a personalized email to relay your hot lead, Google Calendar, Google Sheets, right? The idea here is 65 integrations, really in focusing on the omni-channel experience to increase your attendance, because right now, just that email from Zoom, you're generally using Go High Level, Zapier, Make, another Pabbly tool to wrap everything and automate it around it, right? I tried that clear back in 2016. I had automated GoToWebinar, and then I wanted to add on this stuff, and I found Zapier very fragile. Okay, so I've opened up a campaign, about to open up a campaign. I want to point out, on the platform, we have multiple delivery platforms. So with multiple delivery platforms, right, we don't only just support Zoom, we support GoToWebinar, we have our own just-in-time platform called AStream, we support a VSL style as well. I'm not going to dive into there. A big part of, I think, why we're all here today is probably talking about Zoom. Whether you're doing your live Zoom event and you want to increase attendance, or perhaps you're doing and you want to automate now your Zoom event to automation. I've clicked into a campaign. I'm going to go into main part of our timeline. So we call this timeline. What are we looking at here? We see day 0, that's the day of your event, right? And let's pretend in our head this is running every day. This is a single day event. In this example, we have an automated Encore. I'll tell you guys what that means in a minute. For those of you looking to do challenges and masterclass, I'll show you what it looks like in another campaign in a bit as well, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? The big part here is we're all used to building automated flows that look like roots of a tree, right? And some Zapier active campaign, Go High Level, so on. What we're looking at here is a calendar. It's an evergreen calendar, right? So this is a Zoom event. Maybe it's going to run once a day. Day 0 is the day of the event. We see 1 day before, 2 days before, 3 days before. This is where we can set up omni-channel communication, right? And it's not just about reminding people. I mean, you can use it just to remind people, but I talk and teach a lot today about the power of a good indoctrination series, right? And also the power of making this an event field, even if it's running once or twice a day, as opposed to that just in time that's starting at 11:45 p.m., right? And you're sprouted on the couch and you get a very different type of viewer. We have a week view as well as a day view here. If I click on the day view of the event, we see at 8 a.m., right? This is active campaign adding a tag. We see a SMS message. We see a lot of different channels of communication leading up to the actual event starting, right? Here's an example with a picture message. So let's pretend, you guys see me up in the corner here, but let's pretend I send you a picture message because you're a registrant of my webinar and you receive that and I'm pointing at a whiteboard. And it looks handwritten, right? Maybe it says, hey, Daniel, we're starting soon, or hey, Eric, or hey, Mark, or Roland. The point is, it's 2025. Someone doesn't probably think, oh my God, Eric took the time to write this out for me. But at the same time, It's attention getting. It's a lot more attention getting than that email, hey, we're going live, right? That third email, fifth email that they've received in the sequence. Another thing to point out, just flying through it here, is our join links. So our join links evolve along. The idea here is we all know as marketers, people click links for days and weeks afterwards, right? So someone clicks here, when they get this 20 minutes before, it's going to take them into Zoom. Now for your recurring live event that maybe is running every day, bringing that viewer into your presentation, say 50 minutes into it, they're not going to convert, right? So why not take them to the encore, the replay, the next stage? Our join links evolve along, right? So even when people are clicking links from days, weeks, months afterwards, they're taking them where they want to go. All right, ringless voicemail, Facebook Messenger, you get the idea here. Main takeaway is it's all about setting it up in our action builder as opposed to defining this new flow within Zape, within another tool. And then maybe even at the worst, telling someone on the SMS, hey, you got an SMS out, great, but it says, go find the Zoom link, go find the Zoom email to join us, right? Like anywhere the friction can be reduced, the platform focuses on that. All right, so that's leading up to the event. That can be all done whether we're live or fully automated. I'll show you the difference between the two in a moment. Leading up to the event, let's increase attendance. Cool. What can we do during the event, right? We can send automated one-way messages. Hey, everyone, welcome to the call, right? Type of stuff, right? To get that engagement. We can also do live segmentation. So 10 minutes into it, right? Send a FOMO invoker to anyone that's not on. Hey, if you're not on here, join us now, right? An animated GIF, a couple screenshots, reminder of what they've registered for. Perhaps 10 minutes before the call to action, you want to send an SMS to everyone that had joined and left. Hey, get back on here, right? Because we know at the macro, all these little maneuvers are going to yield a better return on the ad spend, on the investment. Post-event, audience segmentation. Really, this is where AEvent goes as deep the onion as you want to go. What I really talk about here is a lot of folks with Zoom, you're sending all the registrants the same, or you were a team member or someone else after the events, downloading the CSV and going into Go High Level, going into another tool, hand tagging the attendees, non-attendees, right? That works kind of. It's 2025. If I'm talking to all my attendees the same way, I'm leaving a lot of fruit on the vine there. And what I mean by that is, as example, these two audience saw less than 20 and saw CTA didn't sign up. These are two very different audience, right? If I'm a car salesman, you come on my car lot, you kick a tire, you walk away, versus we test drive 5 cars, I get you pre-approved, I give you some latte or whatever it is we have for free food. As a salesperson, I'm going to talk to you differently. My mannerism, my energy, everything's going to be different to close that sale, to work towards that sale, right? But most folks using Zoom today are doing attendee, non-attendee, right? So deeper down, this can go quite deep, as I mentioned. Attended less than 20 minutes. This is pretty easy. If time attended less than 20, greater than 1, right? We're creating this audience. We're defining it. We're not doing anything yet with it yet. Saw CTA didn't sign up. So here, time attended greater than 45. So we're talking to anyone that was on the call for at least 45 minutes, right? And maybe that means they came and left 5 times. We added up. Present greater than 112. So this is saying your call to action's at the 113-minute mark. So we're very precise about this, right? Page view did visit the call to action page. Page view did not visit the confirmation page. Cool. That's achieved by putting our little code snippet on your page. Point is here, this is the hottest audience, right? Now, after the event, what do we want to do with that, right? We don't want to go do anything manually. For those of us that are still doing it live, we're exhausted afterwards, right? So we're doing even less if we're still doing it live. Let's say after the event, let's say this is an evening event. So let's say I'm going to pick 9:08 in the evening. To engage with that main event, we do have Encore as mentioned. I'll go in that to in a moment. And then I want to select like that hottest audience, right? When I build this for myself, I want to send them a picture message. That's still totally valid today, right? But here's where we can work with all the different integrations. So whether it's tagging them for CRM tracking purposes, whether it's dropping them to a Google Sheet for your call center, for your team to immediately follow up with the hottest lead, maybe sending them some ringless voicemail from the presenter, talking to that on the fence lead, right? You get the idea. Like I said here, I've always sent this group a text message with a picture attached. Pictures are worth a million words, and animated GIFs, student success stories, that type of thing, right? Screenshots, whatever they need to say. Then we go ahead and customize it. I'm not going to type it all out, but as you can see, we can customize the message. We can include whatever we want. And then we don't recommend you send this to a replay, right? You send this lead to an on the fence page, to an order recap page, to a bonus stacking page, to a review page, right? This lead needs to be spoken to differently. That's really the main idea here. So I select the phone number I want to use. I hit create. Boom, that's occurring. Right. So all of this, as I mentioned, is wrapped around a live event, It can support a 5-day challenge, a 3-day challenge. In this instance, we have a main event within an automated Encore. Maybe all non-attendees you want to automatically Encore. Maybe all non-buyers you want to automatically Encore. What does that mean? That's a second Zoom event that automatically plays, right? So here under main event, we do have this set up for live. Under live, we define how long we want to go live for. It doesn't have to be precise, right? I think most of us on the call today are wanting to automate our webinar. So that's like live. Here we select the video we want to play, right? We do have a playlist creator because maybe you have 20 videos you want to play with 7 different speakers. Perhaps you want to do a lot hybrid, right? Like back when I created this for myself, 2016, okay, I'd automated GoToWebinar. I had 2 folks, team members hopping on, handling live engagement. But if I had a webinar that was, say, 5,000 registrants when I'm used to 3,000 or whatever, of ample size larger, I would still want to come on and do a live Q&A and a live close, right? Because I knew that my control is the best me, right? We all have those webinars where afterwards, like if I could just rinse and repeat that every day, I'd be golden, right? But at the same time, we know even if I'm horrible today and my internet sucks and I have a cold or whatnot, by engaging with that audience live directly, that's going to help conversion factor there, right? So that's the hybrid method with AEvent. We integrate at the code level. So literally with your page builder, you host it. What's the idea there? No constraints, no limitations, right? And it's auto evolving. So as example, you can have a countdown timer. Maybe it says August 17th, 2025, 10 p.m. CDT or EST or wherever you are, right? It shows you it in your time zone and it automatically evolves along so that when that event occurs, now the next event is automatically showing here. I do have a example here. This is Mastermind. This is hosted on CF 1.0. They're using our Like Live platform as well as Zoom. But this page is constantly evolving along. So if I hit this here, they don't have a countdown timer or scarcity on the base page. You can. I hit this here and we see selected time. Watch now is going to take me to the event that's running on AStream. That's maybe starting right now, where these other 3 are going to take me into Zoom, right? The idea here is everything's evolving along. So your team is not manually doing anything other than perhaps showing up to the event to handle live engagement. Let's see. The last portion that I don't really dive into yet is what does scheduling involve, right? What does scheduling look like? So we have your campaign here. It's all dialed in. It can be changed on the fly. Let's say 2 days later, you want to send out a text message to that webinar you had. Cool. You come in here, you add it. Great. What does scheduling look like? So we go in and we select our campaign that we're working with. And 1 second, guys, I see some questions coming in, so I'll dive into those in a second. I want to just go through here. So we select the campaign that we're working with. Let me find, I don't remember what I was doing. We do select a meeting or webinar. I saw the top of part of a question here. Yes, it does work with Zoom meetings. You can have a simple Zoom meeting account. You don't have to have webinars. We can auto mute. I actually like Zoom meeting more if it works for your avatar because it's what we have here. For those of us that have cameras on right now, we can all see each other. We're part of something. Right. Also with Zoom meetings, we can do cool like one-to-one messages and make it even more engaging. All right. So meetings, webinars, I'm going to select meeting. Maybe it's a one-time occurrence. Maybe this is a live challenge happening next month, whatever. We select the date and time. But if we want this to recur, all right, let's say we want to run this webinar on Thursdays and I'm going to select 10 a.m. Right. This is a time zone that is based upon your account. And now I want this to happen on Thursdays. Maybe I want it to be Mondays and Thursdays. Maybe I want it to be daily at 10 a.m. I'm going to select never here. I'm going to hit select schedule. And now it schedules with AEvent. That is automatically scheduled with Zoom. And Zoom is now automatically scheduled every day that is running in this instance, right? The main goal of the platform when I built it for myself was to relieve to maximize attendance through intelligent omni-channel communication, but also relieve myself or my team from the manual tasks that become painful to run a webinar-based business, right? Like these little tasks become painful. So you don't go and update pages when the campaign's over. You don't go and schedule it again, right? The only thing that you actually go and still do based upon you, as I mentioned, showing up live to the call to handle that live engagement. But my team right now, my lead dev is actually finishing up a Zoom to Slack integration. The idea there is you no longer have to get someone on the Zoom call. You can engage with them from Slack, right? We already have that today for our AStream example. And let's see here. So I see a couple questions coming in. I'll jump into pricing in a moment here, but to clear it up, our $95 amount works with Zoom Live and AStream, right? So you can do all the Zoom automation stuff wrapped around it, all the omni-channel stuff, and then AStream. The Zoom automation is where the 295 starts out. Why is that? Because it's actually dedicated servers that are running your webinar. At a data center here in Austin, we have 130 computers right now. They're like that big. It's equivalent to like your laptop. And it's fully automated, right? And just because it's dedicated, it can't do anything else. It's not like a ClickFunnels webpage where I can run 1,000 websites on one, right? So that's part of why it works between the 295 and 95. I'll go in a little bit deeper there. I know we talked a little bit about challenges, so I just want to bring up a quick example here. I'm going to pull up a 3-day challenge here. So I'm going to go into the timeline. And we're looking at that, right? We see day zero. Day zero is known as the day of the event. The platform is built in a way where, let's think about a space shuttle. T minus 1 means 1 day before. T minus 2, right? T plus 2 means after. So here we have the day of the event. We have day 2 here. We have day 3. You can set it up to where it's all one Zoom event, right? For all those 3 days, or maybe it's 3 separate Zoom events. The communication all works segmented within that. And we have folks that run, I think our longest time challenge user has been on the platform for 2.5 years, running a 5-day challenge. Credit Repair Cloud, they've been running theirs on there nonstop for several years. 5-day challenge just goes and goes and goes. Let me see. I'm going to look at a couple questions. One moment here and take a sip of water. Yes, you can send already approved A2P campaigns. You can latch into Twilio what you already have set up there. You don't have to use our campaign. I think when you add it, it automatically adds AEvent Copilot, but you can use yours. You don't have to go anything. You've already been through that. That's awesome. Audience after the event, you can. Yes, we get the attendance data. That kind of all works on the fly, right? So the question was, can we do stuff after the event, right? Maybe after the event, I'm like, gosh, that was a really good webinar. I want to segment this. I want to do that. I want to do whatever. You can very much come into the campaign, create that new audience, go back to the timeline and just think, all right, this was 2 days ago. Right? And work out the time in your mind of when it was and then set it up and boom, right? Regardless of what type of automation it is, because that's just all calculated on the fly. We do, the cart abandoners type flow too, right? So maybe we tag them as a cart abandoner in day 1 replay, but then on day 2 replay, you fire another SMS and someone has bought, right? So they're removed there. Now, maybe we initiate a flow that's to Go High Level. Now Go High Level is doing all the heavy lifting, right, after the event. Well, that logic needs to be in there. What I'm trying to say is nowhere did I build or did we build AEvent to handicap or force you to use AEvent, right? You can very much light level use AEvent or deep level use AEvent, right? We work with all the different automations and literally nowhere we're like, no, you need to build that out here because, hey, it's going to force you to use the platform more. Let's see here. The plan, timing. Is the timing strict? So let's talk about this for a second. So some of you may be coming from using EverWebinar, right? And maybe you're not running a just-in-time event, but maybe you're running it every hour, right? We can do that with AEvent. Now on a technicality, you can do it with Zoom, but generally we say, hey, you want to run at that frequency? Let's use our AStream. That's our just-in-time platform. Why is that? Because on Zoom, you need multiple Zoom accounts. Like right now, I can't go and have another meeting on this account, somewhere else. Right. Also, part of like our account, our use metric that we track is because we have the hard cost is that server use. Right. But also take a moment and, if we connect on a call, what I'd like to talk about is actual value, as I mentioned before, the indoctrination series, intentionally stretching it out, intentionally lowering your attendance rate. Right. Because we are done properly crafted, you are intelligently bringing that viewer, the attendee up to up to before they join the event, right? So yes, you may stretch it out a day or two, which may lead to a lower attendance, but because of the indoctrination series, because of the storytelling, because of the videos, if you're using NLP, opening loops, so on, right? You're pre-selling and then you're going to get a lot more engaged viewer that's showing up at 5 p.m. as opposed to the webinar that starts in 45 minutes, right? So we have tons of folks that are using that data. I got a testimonial last week from a guy named Brooke who came from EverWebinar to AEvent and Zoom, and we increased his attendance rate. We increased his conversion by 50%, his front end conversion. While yes, his attendance is down because he's doing it once a day, right? He was doing EverWebinar at a lot more frequency, but again, it's 2025. I don't think the just in time is working to the effect that it used to. I think the market, the world as a whole has wised up for a little bit on that. Let's see, a DKIM question. So we support CNAME, right? So back to that evolving join link. So first off, you host all your pages, right? So right there, it's still on your domain, so on and so forth. And then an evolving CNAME. Let me find the one that I have something filled out here. That join link right here, that can be your CNAME domain. What I mean by that, it could be webinars.yourdomain.com, right? So you point it to us, but then it carries the domain authority and or whatever the heck, right? Whatever that need to be seen. It's not our generic. We have like 5 or 6 generic domains, joinevent.link, replay event, those type of stuff. But yeah, that's how that works. And that's just another integration. And to reiterate too, I didn't mention really, whether the 95 or the 295, it comes with everything. Right. The only thing that the 295 has is a Zoom automation. Nowhere do we charge more for extra integrations for premium stuff, so on and so forth. We don't charge overages, right? And what do I mean by we don't charge overages? So we don't charge overages in the sense that you go over, we reach out to you. Hey, you went over this month. Let's add on more actions. Let's add on more server hours for next month. We don't actually bill you at all. We have tons of tutorials, hundreds of tutorials, hundreds of help links, videos, all that good type of stuff for self-onboarding. We have hundreds of videos under our YouTube as well. But let me point out one thing with regards to support, and this is where I have not found somewhere else. This is Monday through Friday, 24 hours a day. This is my team's live response time the last 5 days. So this means 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. They reply. Sometimes that gets up to 5 minutes. Right. My role to the project manager of the support is under 5 minutes, always 24 hours a day with good support. Right. So my idea there, my frustration there is like we've all had tools where it takes 2, 3, maybe a week and they don't help you. And you've already scratched that itch and fixed it yourself. And then the support just becomes salt in the wound. Yeah. What other questions? Can we reuse templates? Yes, you can create templates or you can duplicate a campaign as well. So you can share. Right, this would be to share amongst an account to another account. You can very much duplicate a campaign. I'm very much the type of person like don't do it from scratch more than once. Right. We also do have templates within. So let me click here. I'm going to select an evergreen webinar. Maybe that's a Zoom event, but it's evergreen, meaning it's a recurring event, right? Maybe I have a good indoctrination series built out there. And as we go through and select the stages, by the time we get to the campaign level, it's built out based upon the integrations, the tools you've chosen to use, that first best practice level, if you will. Because AEvent does introduce a lot of, hey, I've never done that before. What's best to use here, right? So as I'm going through, I'm selecting the different integrations that I want to use. And then on the final step, we create it. Takes a moment. I'm not going to walk through it now. And then that's kind of built out there. So there's a number of ways to go about it. We do offer onboarding calls from the 295 and up, but we're also not chintzy, as I say. So like we'll hop on with anyone. Our success is your success, right? And I said all of that right before I'm even reading Daniel's message here. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. Right. Do we offer support to the 295 plan? The answer is yes. Generally it's 2 calls, but we're not like, it's defined as 2 30-minute calls, but we've never turned someone down for a call, right? Really the platform I built out of a passion, not out of, didn't start out as like, let me figure out a way to make money, right? I was more successful in info. I built this out of a passion because I love building it. So my team works the same way. And we've also, everyone's gotten here via word of mouth, right? I've never spent $1 on ads. And we do have users like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Dean Grossi, Russell Brunson, blah, 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 blah. I'll use the platform. And it's intentionally been a slow build, right? Because I'm very OCD about product and stuff working. We've all seen those marketing tools that another marketer makes, and they're generally still riddled with bugs, right? Technology will be technology. Sometimes stuff breaks, but we do have like that top of the line users and down on the platform to ensure you that the shit works. Excuse my language. Any other questions, guys? I do have a link. I have 15 more minutes to kill here. I do have a link. We don't advertise it, but I do have a link to a $1 trial. So I'm just looking on my little pad here to type that in for me. So that's a link to the $295 $1 trial. It's a 2-week trial. You can sign up, go in for $1, muck around. I personally recommend go sign up, bang around, muck around, learn it a little bit, go through the tutorials, work with the front end team, and then book an onboarding call, right? Don't put off the onboarding call. The onboarding call is not a sales call. I don't have anything else to sell you. presently, really. I do high ticket consulting at $1,000 an hour from up. That's not what I'm trying to sell here, right? We don't have anything else to sell you. The onboarding call is literally to help you. We are anyone, whoever sent you along, however you heard of us, you can ask them, if we operate like by that, right? I'm passionate about the platform itself and about sharing this weird creation, because I didn't set out in 2015 to build a SaaS. It kind of just evolved along. I did share that link, right? So anyone that wants to hop on a one-on-one or has questions that come up, right? I do realize the platform is quite deep. What I've shared here today is probably 15%, right? It is a very deep platform. It's been around since inception, right? Since 2016. And with that, we're constantly adding, right? We're constantly creating new things. The live attendance data for Zoom, we just added. And again, the idea there is maybe you're doing your live challenge 3 days. It's a 3-day challenge. You do it once a month. Well, let's add on all this segmentation before, during, and after, right? So that you can focus on delivering on the challenge. And then as soon as you have that one, that this is the one I want to roll with, you would just come in and literally upload the video, right? And we change it from live to like live. We select the video, and now we're showing up and doing it for you. I know one group of people that have had massive success the last couple of months with the platform using for challenges is Eileen Wilder. I know she's part of like Russell and the ClickFunnels crowd. And I know they've just been crushing it with it. And they actually were able to increase their live conversion rate by automating it. And that was the first time I've ever heard that. And at first it kind of made me like, that's an oxymoron, right? So they were able to increase their conversion rate, the live conversion rate, by automating it. And it was in twofold. One, they were able to stitch together like 6 runs of their challenge. Maybe they'd done it live 6 times, right? And they're able to stitch it together and make the best one from that. So that helps increasing conversions, because we all have those little slices from here and there that, man, if I could have that happen on an automated webinar, right? But also it's allowed the team then to focus more on the sales aspect and the live support on the event, as opposed to getting the reminders out, segmenting afterwards, everyone's exhausted, that whole rigmarole, right? Let's see. So that's just another aspect of it, of the platform. Again, with AStream is our just-in-time platform. The idea behind AStream is, hey, I want that to run just in time. I want that to run every 5 minutes, right? On the mastermind page I showed you as an example, they have the watch now. That would bring the viewer into here. We have a number of different skins. We have light modes, dark modes, different modes, yacht. This is totally brandable. So this can be your logo, can be on your subdomain, right? So it's not on AEvent.stream. Of course, this is your speakers, right? We do have a Slack integration. So the idea there is you can connect this to Slack. And now live questions from here go to Slack. You can reply from Slack. Your team can reply from Slack, and it goes back to the viewer here. Unlike EverWebinar or some of the other ones, we provide the video service. So you upload the video to us. And this does have fake chat, live chat, real chat, time chat, all that type of stuff, pop-ups, right? This is our platform. But again, you can totally make it your platform and integrate it at that level. Talk a little bit about how we integrate with code, with page builders and stuff. People always ask about that. So we do support, a webhook integration. Maybe you're selling tickets to your event, right? Okay, you send us a webhook from Go High Level Active Campaign that registers them. We, of course, also support a standard registration flow. So with that, I'm going to click on registration here. And we have a form builder. I'm going to just dive into this one that's already created here. So instead of being a page builder, it's a full form builder, right? So you can customize it how you want. As an example, this is a multi-option dropdown. Doesn't have to be. It could be for a one-time event. You can pull in your other variables. Maybe you want to capture the UTM parameter. It's very easy to set that up. You send that into Go High Level. Cool. The idea is here is you build it the way you want, and then we kick you out either a JavaScript pop-up or the HTML code. Right. And when we kick you out the HTML code, it's literally what you just designed there. Now, it sounds daunting code, but all that means is you go into Go High Level, whatever page builder you're using, grab in an HTML element, drop that in there. Right. And now your pop-up, your page builder, your form is all housed there. Right. And as mentioned, that page can have a countdown timer. You can say the day of the week, the month, and so on, right? And the idea there is keep everything evergreen. And it's not limited, so it's styled in the way that you'd have it say August, right? Except for instead of it saying August, you're quite literally going to place this value there. And when that page loads in the first 500 milliseconds, that value is swapped out for the next event. right? On a confirmation page, we support the standard type of stuff, hey, a countdown timer to the event, right? Maybe it says, congratulations, Daniel, you're registered, right? Maybe there's an add to calendar image on the confirmation page. Some of you may today use a service called AEvent. We provide an AEvent natively, right? So we provide, as just part of the service with AEvent, we have that AEvent functionality so that when they hit that calendar and they click on that, they see the little iCal, the Google Calendar, the different options there, right? And they can click through. Now, important there is that includes their join link, right? It includes their personalized join link. And then here's all the dynamic page elements, right? It's really limitless. So it just goes very deep there. If you're doing a replay. So the idea with our replay is we are running a 3-day replay. Well, they have 3-day access, right? So after the event, maybe they hit the link that you initially sent them. Maybe it was a link that you sent out this morning. Maybe it was saying, hey, go check out the replay. When they hit that page, it's going to count down 3 days, right? Now, if I register on a Tuesday and Paul registers on a Wednesday, Paul's going to see one additional day in that countdown, right? And then when it expires for me, when I hit a replay link, it's actually going to take me to the expired page. What you have set up as the expired page, whereas Paul, it'll allow him access for an extra day, right? So that's all achieved just by putting our header script on that page, countdown timer, and all these page elements you can have there. The expired page can be anything you want. The goal there is you don't have anyone that was registered for your Zoom event, for your AEvent campaign, that gets to a dead link, right? Like we know people click emails for so long afterwards in an event, like let's have them click through and get to at least an expired link, at least something. Maybe it's just to re-register again, whatever the heck. So that's how we integrate with pages. Does anyone have any last questions before we cut off? And there's a bunch of us still on here. Again, I'll actually drop it just in case anyone came onto the call afterwards. The free trial link, that's a $1 free trial to AEvent for 2 weeks. It's at the $295. That gives you everything, including the Zoom event automation, and does include onboarding calls. So thank you all. I hope you all have a good day. Cheers.
After the challenge is done, then we evergreened it, and now this evergreen funnel keeps making its money. How many of you guys are evergreening your challenges after you're done with them, or your webinars after you're done with them? Like if you're not, the only reason I do a Vive thing is so I can evergreen afterwards. It's insane. And there's 2 really, really good tools right now out there to evergreen webinars and challenges. One of them is a company called AEvent. Have you guys ever heard of AEvent? Oh, you guys came here for this alone. It's aevent.com or aevents.com, I don't know. aevent.com. But what you do with AEvent is you're buying a computer. I have no idea how this actually works. In my mind, it's some dude's house. He's got a whole bunch of computers. It's probably not, but maybe it is. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. But it's a computer. And on that computer, there's a script that says, you say, run Zoom every day, whatever. And people register for a Zoom webinar, and it's in Zoom. And it pops to Zoom room, and then it pops up to your video, and it looks as live as when we went live. Nobody knows. And it's in Zoom. And your staff can go in there and just be in the chat, answering questions and comments and all sorts of stuff. It is insane. It's making me so much money. If you came for just that alone, it'll be worth it all. So AEvent is amazing. Every campaign we do goes into AEvent afterwards.